Hello, you're listening to Rock Made of Metal on YouTube with myself, Ian Burley, and welcome to the first interview of 5 bands, No Cup. This was a feature on my live show where I aired 5 interviews from bands performing at the same gig, and in this case, the same tour. The interviews were with Chelsea Grin, Immure, Attila, Obey the Brave, and of course, Buried in Verona, when they performed on the Mosh Lives tour in April 2013. Now, this intro you are listening to right now is pre-recorded. However, once I finish speaking, we will be jumping right into the live interview that I had with the main man himself. So I'm not going to waste any more time and let this main man introduce himself.
Hey, I'm Brett Anderson from Buried in Verona.
And you're the singer of the band, yeah?
I sing, yes. Slash scream, like a dickhead.
Slash everything. Anyway, so as I said, you're kind of on tour right now for the Mosh Lives tour. Yeah. How about you kind of just start off with like basic details for because that was the start of the feature.
Yep. I don't know. We just got this tour a couple of months ago. Started off in Germany, and yeah, the first show was amazing, and every show after that's been just the same, like crazy kids and kids knowing all the words and stuff, which is crazy because it's like our second time over here. Yeah. So it's been awesome so far. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, are you happy with the kind of the reaction that you've gotten then since, like, you know, first time you're on show, second time people kind of know you well enough? Yeah. No, we're all stoked. The whole band's like pretty blown away. Like, just as I said, like watching kids singing, you know, what you wrote back is so awesome. Oh, like, yeah. I mean, a lot of bands are used to that, but we're not. So I mean, yeah, it's good to be in a different country and they're doing that.
Exactly. Well, you're kind of you're kind of in a show where you're going to get a lot of experienced fans as well too, considering the amount of hardcore bands are in just like the one place. I mean, how do you kind of feel this as a gig, or maybe kind of like an event showcasing hardcore music? I mean,
it's like, I guess like the Mosh Lives tour is like a really good name for it, because like every single band on it is just, I mean, we're not as heavy, but all the other bands are just these crazy fucking crunchy mosh motherfuckers. And but yeah, it's like a mosh festival, but every single night, it's sick.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of tours, the tour dates are on it as well too. Obviously you sound generally quite happy, but maybe it's just because I've been interviewing bands who had like maybe 5 to 6 shows, but you guys are constantly touring over like, what, a 2-month span? I mean, are you kind of worried a wee bit about how much toll that's going to take on you further down the line? Or?
It's like you just got to kind of do it day by day. Like some days you feel horrible, some days you feel good. But we just got back we came straight from America to Europe, and we'd just done like 22 shows there, had 3 days off, and then started this tour, which is like 30 shows. So, I mean, by the end of it, I'm definitely going to be a tired human being.
Understandably so as well too, and obviously this kind of something happened as well too for you guys. If I'm right in saying, you lost your drummer to Mars Baghamstein, well, for starts, I mean, like, obviously kind of going from that and, you know, having all these tours and dates, stuff like that without the drummer, I mean, how have you been able to kind of deal with that?
Well, yeah, our drummer left like 2 weeks before we were heading over to USA. So it was probably one of the most stressful times in the band's history. Like, we were doing 2 massive international tours with no drummer and no one really on the horizon, because it was just so abrupt. But yeah, I mean, we found Joel and we got through it and had like 1 rehearsal, and then our first show with him was in America, so it was crazy. But I mean, you got to do it. Like, there was no chance of cancelling anything and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely. Kind of a dedication to your fans, almost a wee bit. I think a lot of people would have understood if you kind of cancelled shows to try and find the right drummer again, you know. I mean, was it kind of experience you lost another drummer like a while back as well too, if I'm right in saying, did that kind of help you when that kind of thing happened? You know, you're almost used to the experience of the drummer being on. Yeah,
I don't want to get used to it, but I am used to it. But I guess like as soon as we found out, and these days in Australia we have a fair few contacts and stuff like that, so it wasn't, you know, overly hard to find someone. But yeah, like, it's just that initial shock of like, what the fuck are we going to do? And then you get straight on the phone and the email and start fishing, basically.
It seems to have done its work quite well as well too, you know. I mean, obviously one last thing I was kind of ask is like, with kind of the new drummer as well too that's kind of come on, maybe there's like the possibility of like some sort of new music as well too that's coming out, or is it kind of focused on the touring right now, or is it new music kind of something?
We're actually at the moment writing for the new album, which we'll hopefully be recording in September. But yeah, so we're going to probably release a new song fairly soon, and just really concentrating on making a insane album, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah,
it sounds awesome. I mean, it kind of started obviously really early days, I get that, but is there a kind of sense of what direction the album's going to go in yet, or is it too soon?
Yeah, I think we've definitely got an idea. Like, we learnt a lot off our previous album, Notorious, and I think the general consensus is like we want to sort of go back to, when we were like 16, 17, and when we got into metal music and stuff like that, and so maybe go back to, something along those lines where it's just have something fucking hectic and new. Hopefully. But I mean, every motherfucker says that, so
I think it's just a common thing for bands. It's like, it's one of the great things about interviews. You always just go on there, yes, it's even heavier and more intense, and you're just like, okay, you can't just say it's more heavy and intense. Please explain. I would say more heavy and intense.
I don't think anything like these. There's nothing you can be heavier anymore. There's not like the only thing you can do, I think, is number one, write something that you're going to enjoy playing every single night for 2 years, and also just write. Like at least try and come up with something different. I mean, you put your own twist on something and make it your own.
Exactly. It seems like you've, hopefully that will happen with your latest album as well too. So hopefully, but you're kind of speaking about something as well too. I'm never really going to get the chance again to kind of interview 5 hardcore bands in a row here. So one of the things I was kind of thinking about doing was kind of a little talk about kind of hardcore scene as well too. Maybe make a wee kind of slight documentary about that as well too. Actually, so like kind of with that said, I was just kind of wondering for yourself, like how did you kind of get into making hardcore styled music?
Yep. Well, back in the day, I used to listen to like Pennywise and all that sort of stuff. And actually, Richie, our guitarist at the moment, had a band when we were about 14 years old. And like I'd just got into Korn and Slipknot and all that sort of stuff. And I used to be able to sing like properly. And then I'm like, well, hang on, this music's, making me feel something every time I listen to it. So I sort of drew more towards that because it's, it brings a direct emotion when you listen to it. And yeah, he had a band and I'm like, I want to be fucking one of those singers. And that's how it happened. It was quite simple, I guess, just meeting someone and with a common interest and starting something.
Cool. Well, you're kind of saying there a wee bit as well too about like I was listening to it and I kind of got really into it kind of idea as well too. What was it about it that you got into? Like what inspired you about it?
I think definitely the rawness of it, the lyrical content where especially like Jonathan Davies wasn't afraid to talk about deep personal issues and you could sort of feel that was helping him letting it out. And at the time, everyone has issues, and I'm like, well, that's a great way to get it out. And I just liked how, it was just like these dudes putting their soul onto a CD, and it gives you goosebumps. When that shit happens, it's good. Oh yeah,
absolutely. It's a sign of a good song. But you're kind of saying that as well too. I mean, a lot of kind of the hardcore kind of, but I'll ask you bluntly, like the hard, like each genre of music you could say could maybe represent something a wee bit different. For instance, symphonic metal may kind of represent that whole kind of love idea and like we things like that and blah blah the rest of it. So with that kind of idea, like what do you kind of think generally speaking, what do you think the hardcore music scene kind of represents in the world of metal?
It's a damn good question. I'm gonna have to split it down 50-50 and say I think 50% of hardcore is a great way to let out aggression and maybe even provoke aggression in people, but that helps some people. And the other 50% is probably explaining the more positive things. And like I find a lot of hardcore bands sing about there is the light at the end of the tunnel and stuff like that. So there's a big contrast, but both just as strong.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, a lot of kind of hardcore bands talk about like partying and stuff like that as well too, from time to time.
True, yeah, so, definitely. We'll wear one of those.
Absolutely. Kind of one of the kind of almost last things. One of the things about it too, when it comes to like hardcore music, it would probably, maybe this is just me, but out of probably every single genre of music in metal, it's probably the one that gets the most kind of you either love it or you hate it kind of idea. Because you get like a lot of purist metal fans who, by the way, not like it at all. Purist kind of people going like, oh no, it's not metal because the person screams and blah blah the rest of it and stuff. What would you say to those people? Like, what would you say in like defense to that?
In defense, I'd just say open your mind a little bit. Like, shit's changing constantly. Like, if I liked my first band that I ever got into, and then only stuck to that style of music and that band, then I wouldn't be doing any of the things I'd be doing now. I wouldn't be listening to all the great music I'm listening to now. Like, I think they're just missing out, really.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good enough. And lastly, any kind of thoughts that you maybe want to add to the, idea?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Alright, cool. One more question, and then I'll get a jingle and all that sort of stuff and move on. This is a completely out of the random, out of the wall question, of which has no relation to anything that we're doing, but yeah, ask it anyway. Basically, I was talking to a mate, and they all said, "Oh, every metal band has a zombie plan when a zombie infection inevitably comes." So, do you have a zombie plan?
My zombie plan is, well, I don't live in America, so I can't get a shitload of guns, but I think I'd find the nearest baseball bat, go to the strongest hold I know of, and just sit there and wait to be either killed or bashing zombies. There's no great plan there, but we're probably mainly running, actually.
Yeah. Running and bashing zombies. Preferably, I like to kind of think it would be kind of like, what was it? But do you know that game where it's like you're in a mall or a shopping centre or something like that? I can't remember the name of it, but the Capcom game or something. I can't remember.
Doom or something?
No. Forget it. I'll take too long to remember. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, kind of last thing I'll leave you go to it then, man, is just kind of do a jingle for me, if that's alright. So, rock made of metal. If you could say, hi.
Rock made of metal?
Yeah, like, hi, I'm blah blah blah, I'm from blah blah blah, and you're listening to Rock Made of Metal.
Okay. Hey, I'm Brett Anderson from Verona, and you're listening to Rock Made of Metal.
So that was an interview I had for my personal hard rock / heavy metal platform, Rock Made of Metal. If you liked what you heard, then good, because this channel is all about connecting the fan to the band. If you want to be connected to all the latest hard rock / metal news, then please subscribe to this channel. Then check out www.rockmadeofmetal.wordpress.com. There, send in your messages of what you want to hear from next and from who, and I'll do my best to get that sorted. Thank you so much for listening in, and I hope to hear from you.